everyone. It's Dr. John Sherk, and it's Wednesday morning, and this is Brown Bag Lunch. So today, what's just on my mind this week, when I do these topically, usually I'm just what's on my mind this week. So we're getting into recruiting season where the temperature's going up, demand for technicians is going to go up, and maybe is already, and there's a lot of it's almost like trading season in the NFL. That there's a flourish of activity. So one of the things I want to orient the hiring and the technician on in this Brown Bag Lunch is to 4 types of managers. Okay. None of these is officially a bad manager. I do think that there's one that's better than the other 3, but none of these are officially like toxic or something like that. But if you're a technician or if you're a hiring manager, it's good to know what these 4 types are and identify which of these 4 types of managers the manager is, because the manager is going to be the source of job satisfaction for the technician who comes in. So if there's a misalignment there, the odds of this working are very low. If there's alignment there, the odds of it working are very high. Okay. So 4 types of managers. Number 1 is a manager who has no authority in play. This is a person who leads purely out of relationship. It's almost like a commune level relationship where we're just all in this together, and there's kind of no there on an org chart they would be the boss, but no one is like acting like it, right? So you kind of share everything, share each other's music and socks and lunch and whatever. So that's the first kind of manager, where it's highly relational, but sometimes difficult to create forward movement because no one seems to be in charge, really. The second one is where instead of authority being absent, the authority is very present. Okay. Now, this is one that can be very functional or very dysfunctional. When the authority is present, it's functional if the person under that authority, in this case, the technician, feels like it's good news that this person is my boss. They have this power, they have this authority, and they use it to help me be successful. Okay. I do lots and lots and lots of stuff on this content-wise. But when you've heard me say, if you watch these at all, when you've heard me say that the 2 laws of great supervision are, I'm in charge, but you're more important than me. What that means is I have authority, I'm in charge, and that means the expectations are set by me. There's maybe some, back and forth communication, but it's not a negotiation as to whether the booties go on the feet before they go in the house. That's an expectation or it's not, right? Now, the second part, you're more important than me, means on the one hand, I never fluctuate expectations in order to help you out as a technician if I'm the manager in this mode. But I will increase my level and type of support so that you can always get over that bar. Okay. And there's a lot of reasons for this, why this is the best of the 4. There's a lot of research that shows when this one is being deployed and being used well, the person under authority has by far the greatest job satisfaction of anybody at any level of the organization. If you want a retention strategy, managers, figure out how to do the 2 laws. You will create a culture in which everybody wants to work for you. I mean, I wrote a dissertation on a company like this. Everybody will want to work for you. Okay. If you want to know more, reach out and we'll talk more about it. But that understanding that your authority, its primary function is to create a structure, but also to make those people who report to you successful based on your level of support. So if we're shooting free throws and our percentage is too low, we never help by lowering the basket and moving the line up to 8 feet. That's not helpful, right? But what we do is find every other version of support. So we make the percentage of free throws we need to make as actual free throws. Okay. Manager number 3 is someone who drives execution through rules and policies. So rules is rules manager. This is someone who will get very worked up on whether you are precisely wanted or not. Okay. They in a sense, they abdicate their personal or their direct professional authority to a set of rules, and they police those rules and kind of use those rules as their direction. Okay. They're often afraid of helping you out specifically because of a fairness principle, or if I help you, I have to help everybody, or there's some kind of a policy or structure to how they get to execution, and that's how they get there. They don't say things like, basically, I'm giving you direction, this is what I want you to do. They'll say things like, this is our policy, right? And it separates the person from the direction. Okay. The downside is, um, you can have a quasi, because you can support then someone into that policy, but it doesn't have the deep effect that it has when it feels like you're the one with the authority, not the policy. Policies can't have authority. That's not how authority works. And so it kind of gums that thing up as if we're all victims here of something else. Okay. The fourth one is what's called a market rate manager, meaning the whole basis of your relationship is the wage. Whatever it is they're paying, if you take it and they offer it, and that's the relationship, that's the relationship. That's it. And so this is what happens when, on the one hand, a company decides they want to with compete with for talent with wages and not with culture and strategy. And if a technician just says, I don't care about anything else other than the highest wage I can possibly make. And so when those two people meet each other, they have a market rate relationship. The problem is, if anything shifts in the expectations of that market rate, the whole relationship falls apart. And it creates a kind of mercenary workforce and creates a dynamic where sometimes that person, they don't want to be there anymore, but it costs them too much to leave because they can't make what they make anywhere else. And you have a morale and an engagement problem, and the most expensive workforce with the least engagement. Okay. So you got your authority absent manager. You got your authority present manager. This is your ideal person is this person who is comfortable having authority. Now, again, a variation of this I've seen is where the authority gets exercised without sufficient support, and it hurts the relationship. So we try to go out for beers after work to shore up the relationship. That's a less functional version of this. If the support is happening the right way, there will be a relationship with the authority in it, and it will all feel like good news. And this person will feel like the best boss you've ever had, and might actually be. Okay. So then you've got the rules manager, and you've got the market rate manager. So listen, if you're a manager or if you're a technician and you're interviewing each other, try to smoke this out. What kind of manager is this person you're going to work for? Right? What kind of manager do you want to be? And if you are a technician and you're saying, I just want the biggest dollar I can possibly make, which I don't really recommend. It's not a path to happiness as a technician, but some guys are there. And so if you're there, ignore anything they have to say about culture, right? That's not part of the arrangement. You are a body for $1. And if you're okay with that, then that's the arrangement we're having. If you want to choose a job because of a great culture, realize there's probably someone else in your market who would pay you $2 an hour more, but you're choosing $2 an hour over a better quality of life, right? It is what it is. I'm not judging anybody on either side of that equation, but you need to know it going in, or the odds of that relationship failing are very high. If you understand it going in and you align going in, the odds of that relationship working are very high. Okay. So there you go. We're getting to this season. Lots of interviews, lots of, all of that stuff. It's all coming. And so I just want to give you a little piece of the puzzle there to use to interpret the conversations you're having. All right. I'm Dr. John Sherk. Listen, we are burning the phones up with talking to people about our recruiting machine. Now is the time. It takes a couple weeks to implement. The recruiting machine service that we offer is, instead of just giving you a tech and then see if you want to hire that tech as a recruiting function, we help you build your own internal recruiting machine. So you have all the techs, and you've got a full bench, and you've got 100 techs or more that are in a nurture process, that you're going to, like a garden, you don't go out in the garden and pick all the corn on one day, but it's there, if you've built the garden, to go get it when you need it, right? That's what the recruiting machine does. So if you're interested and you want to find out more, just reach out. We'll get on the phone and I'll tell you all about it. All right. My name is Dr. John Sherk. It's getting exciting. It's getting warm outside. It's going to be a good year. We'll see you next time.